What's good, people? It's your boy Lowry.
True hippie.
What's good, people? It's your boy Lowry. Yes, yes, yes. Good evening, good evening. What is everyone saying? Welcome to the Everything Lowery Show. So I've got people in the building already. Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. Yeah, we're looking good. We're looking good. Yeah, 1 second. Yeah. Can you guys hear me loud and clear? Loud and clear? Still getting used to these. Still getting used to this new microphone. But anyway, man, welcome to the Everything Lowery Show, man. Appreciate you guys joining me for another show. It's 3 weeks in a row. I told you, content is coming this year, man. 3 weeks in a row. And basically, this is the show where I basically wrap up all of the entertainment news for you guys in nice and, easy to digest and whatnot. And yeah, it's basically, man, just having a conversation about movies, TV shows, and, some other stuff. This week, not going to lie, Newsweek's been a bit light. It has been a bit light, but we still got some juicy stuff to get into. So the new Fantastic Four trailer dropped today, so we're going to get into a first reaction of that. Unfortunately, I can't play trailers anymore. I know I used to, but after the show ends, I'm getting bare YouTube emails saying, copyright. So unfortunately, I can just only show you photos from the trailer and stuff. Then we're going to get into another Marvel title, Thunderbolts. We've got some Snow White updates, more controversy surrounding that film. It's just every time I see that film, there's just never anything good. Then something came out last week that I missed on last week's show, so I'm bringing it for this week, about Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. It's a new TV series on the horizon. And then I'm ending the show with... Actually, I'm not even going to say it because I don't want to ruin the start of my review. But I am going to be reviewing and getting into the new horror movie by Ryan Coogler starring Michael B. Jordan, and it's called Sinners. So we are going to get into that. So yeah, man, let's just jump straight into it, man. We are going to jump straight into the Fantastic Four trailer. So like I said, unfortunately, I can't play the trailer, but it's looking like, Marvel... This is quite a strange trailer to drop at this time. We're in April. The movie doesn't come out until July. And they revealed quite a lot in this trailer. Now, historically, it's more so like when Marvel get closer to the release date, maybe like a month before, then we start seeing some of the spoilers and, the internet starts to gas it up and stuff. But to drop a second trailer in April when your movie comes out in July, I mean, we get the first look of Julia Garner's Silver Surfer, so I'm going to show you some photos from that. There's some bits of Galactus, and some other things, and yeah, it's quite a surprising drop from Marvel. I'm not going to lie to you, man. Could it be a bit of desperation considering where the MCU is at the moment? We're going to get into Thunderbolts right after this because that's another title that is releasing very soon. But it looks like Fantastic Four is going to overshadow Thunderbolts, which is understandable. A lot of people know the Fantastic Four. So, yeah, basically, Marvel are starting big for this summer, for 2025. And they're going to have Thunderbolts releasing on the first weekend of May. And then they'll have this right after couple of months after. So so footage basically from Comic-Con, from the Fantastic Four film was shown. However, it was kept under wraps, and then they released a teaser trailer, which I liked. It got me into the Fantastic Four. I'm like, finally, we have these guys in the MCU, but it didn't really tell us what's happening. And then today, they just dropped the second trailer, and it basically tells us what's going to happen. So, the trailer's given the retro futuristic 1960s vibe that we know and that what we felt in the first trailer. Very much like the Jetsons. That's the only way I could explain it. We are fully introduced now to the core Fantastic Four. So we have Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic, Vanessa Kirby, Sue Storm, Invisible Woman, Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, Human Torch, and Eben Moss Bacharach as Ben Grimm, aka The Thing. But in the trailer now, we fully see that they are established superheroes. Normally in the MCU, they're unknown superheroes, and then something happens in the film, and then they become the name within the MCU. But it looks like, these guys are already established in the superhero as being superheroes. I wouldn't be shocked if at the start of the first 5-10 minutes of the movie, we actually see them fighting off a smaller well-known villain in the MCU, just to kind of like how Incredibles did it, where we didn't really have to have an origin for them. They were already superheroes. One of the major highlights in the trailer, Sue Storm is pregnant. That was a lot of rumors. You could see how she was walking in the first teaser trailer, but it's confirmed in this trailer now that she's pregnant. The Marvel's first family is growing. In the trailer, she tells Reed, "We can do this. Nothing's going to change." And then the trailer cuts, and then boom. Who's on their doorstep? Galactus. Galactus is being played by Ralph Ineson in this movie. And if you know Ralph, sorry. If you know Ralph, if you heard him, he's got that deep voice. So I think he's going to do very well playing Galactus in this movie. In the trailer, you see some of his footsteps, but we don't know if we're going to see him fully CGI'd. There's some reports online that I was reading that they did actually build a Galactus suit that he is wearing, but we're not too sure how his final look is going to be, because there's been plenty of rumors in the past where a Marvel character was supposed to be in costume and then they just fully CGI his character. But I think the big thing, which kind of shocks me, is that we received our first look of Silver Surfer. Now, Silver Surfer makes her first. Let me just go back there. She makes her first appearance in the trailer. We knew she was going to be in the film. She's been played by Julia Garner, fantastic actor. I loved her in Ozark and some other titles, but this is a complete different role for her. Like, seeing the roles that she's been in before, I never would have imagined her being in a Marvel film in such a character. So this is one of the highlights for me of this movie. Going into this film is seeing how she performs as the Silver Surfer. I think a lot of my generation who watched the not the old school Fantastic Four, but the what was it? The Jessica Alba Fantastic Four. You had Lawrence Fishburne, who played a CGI'd version of the Silver Surfer, and I can't lie. No matter what people think about the film, that scene with the Human Torch and the Silver Surfer when he first meets him, that was a wicked scene. But Lawrence Fishburne's voice is what carried that performance, and I felt he was really good. So, yeah, Julia Garner has, some shoes to fill, but I think she will do a very good job. And yeah, so basically, the Silver Surfer is telling the Fantastic Four that, your planet's ready to get eaten, man. You're running out of time, man. And basically the trailer cuts, and then we see glimpses of Galactus walking through the city. So look, the fate of the entire planet is on the backs of the Fantastic Four. They've never come well, not never, but based on their reaction in the trailer, they haven't come across someone like Galactus before. Um, this one does tease that it's a personal journey for the whole team. I'm assuming that's because Sue Storm is pregnant, so there's a new kid coming into the family, and you want to save the planet for your kids. So yeah, I mean, I checked online, and there's a few people that WhatsApps me, and the trailer hasn't gone down well with everyone, but I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at this trailer. It's not levels, like not it's not super high levels, but there's enough in there for me to say, you know what, I think this is going to be a good film. So I'll be interested to see what you guys say once you watch the trailer, or if you've watched the trailer, let me know in the chat down below, and also let me know if you think this film is going to do well, because as we know, Marvel, they're not in the best shape right now, and a lot is riding on Doomsday, which comes out next year. That's the next Avengers film, and it just seems like Marvel is just trying to steamroll as quickly as possible to get to Doomsday. But they've got some big titles in between that. So they've got Fantastic Four, they've got the Spider-Man movie. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some TV shows coming out. Ironheart coming out in June. So yeah, I think like titles like the Fantastic Four, it has to do well for Marvel, because if this doesn't do well, if the Fantastic Four doesn't do well, then boy, I don't know, and yeah, we may see the MCU diminish quicker than we thought. But yeah, that was just a quick update on the new and my reaction to the Fantastic Four First Steps trailer. Let me know in the chat what you guys think of it. And of course, when more news, I probably won't watch another trailer now. I'm someone that doesn't really like watching trailers because they tend to ruin a lot of what is going to be in the film. But obviously for you guys, for the show, I have to be up to date to a certain degree. And I'm just stating that this will probably be the last trailer that I watch before watching the film. So yeah, man, let me know in the chat, guys, your thoughts on it. And let me know if you're going to be excited, if you are excited to watch the Fantastic Four, or you just done with Marvel. Let me know. All right, cool. We are taking it to actually no. Let's take it to the second Marvel title, and we're going to be talking about Marvel's Thunderbolts. Now, like I said, Marvel are looking like they're going to be starting the year quite strong with Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four. The Fantastic Four First Steps coming out in July. In between that, they do have some TV series that they will be releasing. But towards the end of last week, the tracking predictions for Thunderbolts came out, between 63 to about 77 million. The sweet spot, what the Hollywood Reporter is showcasing here, is that 70 million is probably going to be the domestic opening weekend. But for a Marvel film, that's quite low. It's on the lower side of things. So basically, the Thunderbolts, they're like an anti-hero team, so similar to like the Suicide Squad. So you've got Yelena Belova, Bucky Barnes, Red Guardian, Ghost, Taskmaster, and US Agent. Now, if you've not stayed in touch with the Marvel TV series, then you're probably not going to know who the US Agent is, or Yelena Belova. Actually, no, Yelena was in Black Widow, but if you've not watched any of the newer Marvel films, you're probably not going to know those names. I think everyone knows Bucky, and everyone loves Bucky, so he's a familiar face that people will know. Red Guardian, Ghost, and Taskmaster, again, they were from the Black Widow movie. If you didn't watch the Black Widow movie, I think that released just before COVID or during COVID. I can't remember exactly. But I know not a lot of people watch Black Widow because, one, we knew Scarlet was exiting Marvel, and obviously what happens to her character in Endgame, and two, I think the Marvel fatigue had hit in, and I think if it was COVID, no one was paying attention to that. So yeah, look, they're not household names, so people aren't going to be as excited to watch this movie. CinemaCon, which I reported on a few weeks ago, they showed some footage from the movie, and insiders were saying that it was received, to a warm response, a positive response, but a warm one. Um, but then people's interest started kicking into this film because a few weeks ago, Marvel did like a million-hour live stream on their YouTube channel. Not a million hours, but it was long. I think I left home, went to screening, came back, and the live stream was still going. But it was basically announcing the cast for Avengers Doomsday, which is releasing next year. And pretty much, I think all of the actors that are in this film, their names were revealed on that. So we now know that these guys are going to be more important to the MCU going forward than we first thought. So the tagline for this movie is that everyone deserves a second shot. The premise for the film is a group of disillusioned anti-heroes are forced to team up together after getting caught in a death trap set by Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, who's another character from the MCU. If you've not watched Captain America and the Winter Soldier, then you're probably not going to know who she is. And they're basically sent on a dangerous mission where stakes are personal. And the big question is, will they tear each other apart or will they become something greater? So just think of the Marvel's version of the Suicide Squad. A bunch of villains, a bunch of anti-heroes forced to be put together because there's something great, more evil than them that at the time, I don't think the Avengers are about. So these are the next, Avengers on call. I actually think they're going to be called Dark Avengers. I've always thought that. There's an asterisk at the end of Thunderbolts, and they've not removed it. So it's going to be interesting to see what the asterisk means going forward. But I think they'll be known as the Dark Avengers going into poster of this film. But yeah, I must say I'm actually excited to watch this film because creatively it looks completely different to what we've had from Marvel in the past few years. It looks cinematic, the color grading looks a bit different, and it looks like they're trying to make kind of like the Winter Soldier, where if you take out the superhero element, then it's still a great movie. And I'm kind of getting the feeling with Thunderbolts. I think that this is going to be a more grounded film. There will be some supernatural stuff happening. There is Sentry, who's basically like a Superman type of character for Marvel, and then you've got the Void, which is like the evil entity version of Sentry. That's going to be the main villain in the film. So it will be interesting to see how these guys who don't really have the superpowers like Thor, like Hulk, go against someone like that. But yeah, this seems to be more of like an indie film. This movie has like an independent type of film. It's not glossy. It's not bubbly. No popping colors or anything like that. It looks dark and gritty, and I like that. I like that Marvel are trying to creatively do something different. They kind of did it with Eternals as well, but that film financially didn't do too well for Marvel. Florence Pugh actually described this film as an indie A24 feeling assassin movie with Marvel superheroes. And if it turns out to be something like that, then that's a win for me. So, but yeah, tracking at 70 million for a Marvel film isn't the highest, but I think word of mouth will carry this film, and I think it will be a good movie. And I think word of mouth will be like, yo, you need to go and watch Thunderbolts. You need to go and watch Thunderbolts. And I think that's where they make their money. So this movie releases in cinemas from the 2nd of May. Of course, I'm going to have the review for you guys. So, yeah. But like I always say, when more news becomes available, I'll be keeping you guys in the loop. So, yeah. Let me just chat for 2 seconds. Who's in the chat? Agree, no trailers. Yeah, I'm someone that does it agrees with not watching trailers, but you know, for you guys, I have to watch the trailers. You know, I have to ruin my surprise so I can relay the information to you guys. Crazy how Florence Pugh did that. I know she jumped off a building, which was nuts. She kind of like Tom Cruise in the movie Bucky. We got a Bucky lover in the chat. Everyone loves Bucky. Everyone loves Bucky. All right, cool. We are taking it to the next the next story. Am I gonna? Yeah, let's do that one. All right, cool. We're taking it to the next story, and this is kind of a continuation of what I was speaking about on last week's show, and this is to do with Snow White. So this is the latest Disney live action uh, remake of Snow White, and it's been banned in Lebanon due to Gal Gadot being on the country's Israel boycott list. So, according to reports that I've seen online, and Variety have been posting it, Lebanon's Interior Minister Ahmad Al Hajjar made the call after pressure from the country's Film and Media Censorship Board. The movie is tied to ongoing tensions between Israel and Hezbollah, including recent military activity that has sadly resulted in civilian casualties. This isn't the first time that it's happened, but you know, I mean, her movies like Wonder Woman haven't been screened there before. She's actually always been on the Israel boycott list, on Lebanon's boycott list. But news released yesterday that this film is not being shown in Lebanon, and it just adds more to the dismay of what's been happening to the Snow White film, all the controversy surrounding it. Just to give a bit more context, Gal Gadot is an Israeli-born. She is Israeli-born. She served in the IDF, Israel's defense forces, and has been very vocal in her support for Israel, especially after the October 7th attacks by Hamas. She gave a speech in March, said she expressed her deep concern over the global reactions to the conflict, calling out those who said they were justifying or celebrating the violence. So with Gal Gadot serving in the IDF, there were reports I saw online. I couldn't fact check it, but I believe she actually was, I think, in the attacks to Lebanon while serving in the IDF. I believe that was online. So, look, it makes sense. Lebanon's decision to ban Snow White, it comes a couple of months after they blocked Marvel's Captain America: Brave New World because that featured an Israeli actress, Shira Haas, and that movie got the same treatment. So yeah, look, I think Disney and all the other production companies need to look at themselves and, you know, look at what's happening in the world and make the right decisions. You know, Gal Gadot, I don't know why she was in Snow White. Doesn't really suit the character, in my opinion. And all of the stuff that she's been championing and talking about, and just all I know she's playing the evil witch in this, so she kind of maybe is fitting the role. But yeah, I just think Disney and the other guys just need to do better, man. You need to do better. And you know, big ups to Lebanon for standing up and blocking the film. You know, and to be honest, I don't know anyone who's watched this movie. This movie just has fallen flat from when it was released, and then you have all the controversy surrounding Rachel Zegler, how the media tried to pit on her, but there was rumors of you know, Rachel didn't really like Gal Gadot and stuff like that, but yeah, I thought I'd bring that news to you guys. It's a short one, but yeah, Snow White has been banned in Lebanon. And yeah, let me know what you guys think in the chat. Let me know. All right, we've got 2 more topics to discuss. How are we doing for time? Like I said, it's been a short news week, so there isn't a lot. But I've got some good stuff. And this next one has me really excited, and I missed this on last week's show. And it's to do with Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. There is a new series in the works over at Prime Video. So Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon is officially being developed as a new drama series by Prime Video, and it's based on the legendary Crane Iron Pentalogy, the original book series by Wang Dulu. I hope I pronounced that name correctly. The show's been written and executive produced by Jason Ning. You've seen his work on Lucifer and The Brother's Son, and he's teaming up with sci-fi and fantasy heavyweight Ron Moore, the minds behind Outlander, For All Mankind, and Battlestar Galactica. Both are they both have overall deals with Sony Pictures Television, which is why Sony and they are producing the TV show for Prime. Now, when anyone hears that name, Ang Lee's Oscar-winning film that came out in 2000, it was based on some elements on the same book series, and it introduced us to the poetic pain and beauty of Xu Lian and Mu Bai, two warriors caught between forbidden love and a vanishing way of life. And the series is tipped to follow that same emotional core, love, duty, and the tension between tradition and the future, but told on a grand and serialized scale. So, I mean, that first movie is amazing. If you haven't watched that film, I might actually, by the way, guys, maybe after next week, I'm going to start doing a throwback film on my show, because I've watched so many films and so many people come up to me saying, yo, what can I watch? What can I watch? So I'm just going to do I do my show on a Thursday. So it's going to be I'll probably come up with a better name, but it's a throwback Thursday movie. And I probably will. I mean, technically I should have put this film on today because I'm talking about a TV series about the film, but we'll do that next time. But yeah, I will be starting a throwback movie. But yeah, so nothing about the story or anything or release date. I don't think it's been released just yet. But I'm just excited that we are getting a Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon series on Prime Video, who I think will knock it out of the park. They do very well with their live action stuff, I believe. And yeah, let's see if the new adaptation is gonna meet or maybe surpass expectations that lovers of the Ang Lee movie have. Let me know in the chat if you guys have watched Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Let me know your thoughts on that. And of course, when more news becomes available about this TV show, like actors and when it's going to release and all that type of stuff, I'll be keeping you guys informed. So, yeah. All right, we're doing all right for time, We are actually doing all right for time. And, yeah, I'm going to take it to... Who's in the chat? No, but we'll... If you haven't watched Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, I was looking at a different film there. You have to watch it. It's an amazing movie. Amazing movie. All right, cool. We are taking it to the last story for tonight. I know it's a short one today, guys, but news has been light. And I've been trying to drag it out. I've been trying to use big words to drag out my stories, and I'm joking. But yeah, let's take it to the last topic for tonight. And this is my movie review for Sinners. So Warner Bros. Invited me, your boy, to watch this film early. Where do I start with this film? Let's start with, and I said this on last week's show, that Q1 for film and TV, not even TV, Q1 for the cinema has been rubbish. I could probably count 2 films right now that weren't like super amazing, but I had a good time in the cinema. I think there was The Monkey, which was the horror film. It was cool. It had its moments. Then you had like Companion. I enjoyed Companion, but again, not like super levels. What was the other one? There was another one. Oh, Novocaine. Again, another fun film. But apart from those 3 movies, guys, man, this year has been it's been a rubbish start. But we get into April, and I said, you know what? There's a few films in April, May, and the first film was Sinners. So if you haven't heard of Sinners, I would watch the teaser trailer on YouTube after watching my show, of course, and listening to my review. But it's basically um, a horror movie directed by Ryan Coogler, written by Ryan Coogler, and it has a fully stacked cast. Michael B. Jordan. Um, we have sorry, throat just went funny there. This is why I need water on the stream. Yeah, so Michael B. Jordan. We have Delroy Lindo, Haley Steinfeld. We have Omar Benson Miller. We have who else was there? Wunmi Musaku. We have Legion Lee. There's some other names that those are the ones on the top of my head, and then we have a first time that I've seen this actor, Miles Caton, and basically it follows two twin brothers who return to their hometown to start life over again. The movie is set in like the 1920s, 1930s Jim Crow era. So these the two brothers have gone to Chicago, and they've come back to their hometown. And they come back to their hometown only to discover a greater evil is waiting for them and is waiting to welcome them back. And that's all I'm going to say on the plot, because yesterday I was talking to someone and it slipped out my mouth of what that evil is. And I had in my head that, oh, in the trailers it does show, and we watched the teaser trailer afterwards, and you don't really know what the evil is. But that aside, this has to be one of the best movies I've seen in a long, long, long time. This film gave me the same feeling coming out of the cinema that I had, and this is just recent films off the top of my head, when I watched Top Gun Maverick and Everything Everywhere All at Once. When I left the cinema, I was just like, wow, what have I watched? Like, this film, you can put into words, but you can't put into words what Ryan Coogler did with this movie. It's absolutely outstanding. From every element of a film, the story is so engaging. The pacing is just, the beat of the pacing is just like on point. I never felt bored at any time during the film. The movie's 2 hours and 17 minutes. I never felt that runtime. Some people did, like people that I came up with. Some people said the middle bit dragged for them and stuff, but for me, nothing dragged in this movie. I was fully gripped from start to finish. What he put into the story is just like, I'm watching this film and I'm just like, how do you think of this stuff? Like, how do you come up with all of these concepts and just know how to put it together in such a masterful way? The film, it explores like African folklore, America's racial history, decimated black families. You've got like black freedom. There's a lot of like ancestral meaning behind some of the characters, and the film is very musically. I'm trying to say stuff without ruining it, guys. That's why I'm trying to think off the top of my head. The film, it brings you back to a time, and it's a horrific time, you know. And I'm not one to really watch like black trauma films. I'm kind of done with slavery films, and I'm done with just seeing black people always going through trauma in a movie. But there's elements in this film, but it's done in such a way that the point is made and then it's moved on. And yeah, so the story for this, I think, will keep everyone who watches it from start to finish gripped. And then we come to the acting performances. So Michael B. Jordan plays the twins in this movie, and I'm gonna say this is the best performance I've seen from Michael B. Jordan, like the best. And again, there's you can play twins, but the way he plays the twins is like it's two separate actors. You like it. I'm thinking, nah, that's not Michael B. Jordan playing two. That's two different people. And I loved how he clearly distinguished between both characters. Their personality traits are completely different. The way they talk are completely different, even though they look the same. Um, and I have to shout out Miles Caton, who is the center point of the movie. He plays a character called Sammy, and from what I've seen online, he's a music artist. His voice is amazing, but what he endures during the film and a lot of the meaning and stuff surrounding his character and the way he portrays that on screen is magical. It really is magical. Haley Steinfeld was cool. And then it's nice to see actors like Omar Benson Miller. I think everyone will probably know him from 8 Mile. Then you've got Jack O'Connell, who plays the main villain in the film. I'm not going to say what his character is, but he is a menacing villain. And we got Delroy Lindo. Oh, the film, whilst it's a drama, whilst it's a horror, whilst there are moments of, of sorrow and whatnot, the film is hilarious. Again, the pacing of the film, boom, the beat just keeps bouncing through. The pacing and the timing of the jokes in this movie is again masterfully crafted throughout the narrative. Often I have to like look at Marvel films sometimes where something serious is happening. You're like, all right, finally we're getting into it, and then a joke happens and it kind of just pulls you completely out of the scene, and you just feel like, oh, why did you have to do that? Whereas with this movie, yeah, there are jokes and they are very, very funny jokes, but it never once pulled me out of the narrative. I was just glued. I laughed. I was like, oh my God. Like, I went through so many emotions watching this film. And the score for the movie, again, is brilliant. Ludwig Göransson, he's masterful. He did the Black Panther soundtrack. He's worked with so many different artists. He's just a master when it comes to music and the musicality of things. And he's worked his magic on this movie. I think from a technical element to the film, there was I think like a 10-minute video that Ryan Coogler did in collaboration with Kodak, who made the film stock that the film was shot on. And he was basically showing people the aspect ratios as to why he shot on 70mm film. And this is what you get. It's a lot taller. And when I watched that, I was like, I have not seen this done before for a movie. Like, everything from marketing to the film, everything surrounding the film has just been perfectly executed. If you can watch this movie, please watch it in film. It's a stunning looking movie. The cinematography is amazing. I watched it on IMAX, but it wasn't film. It was digital IMAX. It still looked amazing, but there were certain scenes where I was just like, yeah, if I watched this on film, it just would have looked even better, even though it's a great looking film. And yeah, guys, look, I don't want to delve too much into what the main. I might do a spoiler one next week, after a week after it being out. But honestly, this is one of the best films you'll watch this year. It really is. If you're into your horrors, the only way, the best way I can describe it without doing spoilers, this is like a modern day version of From Dusk Till Dawn. When you watch that film, you're watching it and it just takes you on a journey, and then bang, you're like, whoa, what is happening here? And this is the same with Sinners. You're watching it, and then the genre bending in the film is absolutely amazing. It's just such a fantastic film, and I've not stopped thinking about this movie from when I watched it. I'm in group chats about it. My group chat have not stopped talking about it. It's just a sublime movie. And with that said, guys, I'm giving this a Lowry 5 out of 5 stars. We have our first Lowery 5 out of 5 movie in 2025, and I think this film is going to be extremely difficult to beat. Extremely difficult, because I think as moviegoers, I love going to watch Marvel films. I love going to watch Superman films. I love watching, your sci-fi movies. But when a movie makes you think, and when you leave the film and you're continuing to think about that movie, that's when you know it's done something different. And this film, when you leave the cinema, I think you'll leave the movie feeling, boy, that was a film. There are 2 post-credit scenes after the film, so don't once the credits start rolling, don't get up and leave. You're gonna want to watch them. But yeah, I will end my review on that. But I'm giving Sinners a 5 out of 5 stars with confidence. This is out in cinemas tomorrow, so that is the 18th of April. If you can, watch it in a film cinema if you can. If not, watch it on the biggest screen possible. Go to the BFI IMAX in Waterloo. Go to IMAX Cineworld in Leicester Square. Don't watch this movie on them tiny Dega screens. Trust me, this is fully worth the ticket price. So yeah, I'm gonna end it on that. But let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Let's see. Sinners watch. We've got people in the chat that are got their tickets already and watching it tomorrow. Watched it tomorrow. Scene trailer looks very good. Trust me. And don't watch any more trailers about the film, because it will ruin the surprise. And yeah, just go into this movie knowing that I gave it a 5 out of 5, but go into this movie with no notion of anything, and you will have, I personally think you'll have a well of a time. I'll be very shocked if next week people come to me saying, "Oh, Lowery, that film was rubbish." I'll be shocked. Then I'll just block you off my YouTube channel. No, I'm joking. But that's it, guys. That is the end of the show. If there are any more comments, let me know. Let me know what you guys are watching. If not, like I said, next week I'm going to start doing some new stuff on the show, some throwback, or maybe the week after, but some throwback stuff, and some other elements that I want to do on the show, So yeah, you'll be seeing the upgrades coming real soon. But yeah, I appreciate you guys joining the show. Again, it's a short one, but it has been a light news week. So hopefully next week there's some more juicy news to go through. It's a bank holiday weekend here in the UK or in parts of Europe if you're watching this, because we are international. Lowery's international. So I hope you guys have a brilliant bank holiday weekend. Stay safe, and I'll be here same time next week, guys. I'll think of some good. Yeah, let me know. Let me know what films you want me to review, because apart from Sinners, the new stuff hasn't been hitting it for me. But yeah, look, guys, have a great bank holiday weekend. Stay safe, and I will see you next week, same time on Thursday for the Everything Lowery Show. Peace.